Hey, folks. Well, welcome back. Um, my laptop completely shut off for a second. I've never seen it do that. It was like maybe a ball of light came by or something. I've never done that in a couple of years that I've had this laptop. And uh, we're going to hold on a second. I'll get Buddy back here. Okay. Okay. So, hey, sorry about that. I had a technical, the whole system went down for a second. I've never seen it done that. Let's see if we can get Buddy back here. Buddy, are you there? We'll get him back in a second. Hold on. Uh, so, um, so we covered the basics of fractals there. Let's see if we got Buddy. Buddy, are you there? Are you back with us? Okay.
Nice. There we go.
Hey, Buddy. I'm sorry about that. My laptop just completely cut out for a second, and it was just weirdest thing. So,
Problemo. I'm sure it has something to do with the government.
yes. So go ahead, Buddy. You've got the quiz. Let's do it.
How are you hearing me? Is there a lag?
No, it sounds good.
Okay, let's dive into the quiz. Hopefully I can keep a steady audio. If my audio... Oh, great. Beautiful. Okay, gang, this is a little quiz. You can put your answers down in the comments, and the first person who gets the right answer gets a special little prize, and we will figure out what that is. And it's likely a reading or remote viewing from yours truly.
Go ahead, Buddy.
Okay, here we go. The very first question. What year was the Washington flyover? The famous UFO incident, the Washington flyover. Now, Doc, you wait, let the audience go first, and then maybe at the end you answer before we go to the next question. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Now, the thing is, we're waiting to get people back in the audience.
All right. What year was the Washington flyover?
So, what we're talking...
good. Thank you, Jay, for staying with us. Kronos, much.
The Washington flyover.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, Doc, do you want to take a stab at it before I answer it?
I know the answer, but let's see. Does anyone... There's a little bit of a lag, Buddy, from our broadcast to YouTube. That's so they can, in case we use profanity, the censors can...
right now, Kronos and Jay staying with us.
Yeah, so you can see the answer. So I think someone got it, didn't they? What year was it? I think somebody has it. Hey, let's see. Buddy, are you back with us? Buddy.
Oh, I'm in the green room. I'm back in the broadcast, it looks like.
You're back.
You're on the air.
Yes, go ahead, Buddy.
I think this is working.
I think
it's starting to.
I think Kronos had the right answer.
I think.
Do you think Kronos had the right answer?
You're in the broadcast. Why does it keep kicking us? Hmm.
Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, I'm live. My screen looks fun going, Doc. It'll all work out. It says something post, but I'm not going to. John Grimley of you. Oh my. Hey, Kronos. Woohoo! Guys, chat. Beautiful. I don't see Doc, but I guess you in the chat can hear, correct?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, buddy.
Awesome. The chat can hear, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I will give the answer then, Doc.
Go ahead.
For the very first question, and are you? The very first question is, when was the famous Washington, D.C.? What year was it? Oh, the year of the famous Washington UFO flyover. For the Capitol, it was over several days. Anybody know? Anybody? Thank you for responding. Saying you can hear. Thank you. Love you.
I think we got an answer, buddy.
Buddy, I'm broken always. The Doc is fine. You're interesting. It's so weird. I can't screen.
Well, at least we're having
chat working. I love you, Sue, guys. Thank you so much. The answer to the first question is
1952.
It's
there you go,
buddy. Check your
52. Yes.
Job 1952. Very good. I cannot hear you. I don't know why. I've got live signal here, LTE on my nets, so I shouldn't. So you guys can hear, and I will just keep.
Here, I'm gonna.
Okay, then it is.
Hold on a second. I'm going to have Buddy dial back in. I'm going to tell him to dial back in. Dial back in. Hold on a second. So we did have a winner there. We had a couple people in 1952. It's the famous flyover of Washington, D.C., featured in the new movie Phenomenon. The Phenomenon, you all see that? By Jamie Foxx. I thought they did a great job. And 1 second here. Hello. Try it again. 1 second. We'll get him back, folks. Just give it 1 second. The Washington flap. Yeah, the aerial school. The aerial school incident was really good. Part 2. I totally agree, folks. That aerial school incident was just haunting. And they tracked down all the kids later on. They had to re-interview them. I mean, that part was absolutely, it was chilling to me. Chilling. So let's see. Are you back with us, buddy?
Now I'm back.
Okay, we're just talking about.
Oh yes, I can see you. Everything looks normal, Doc.
So, buddy, we were talking about the Phenomenon, the movie. Did you get a chance to see the Jamie Foxx movie?
Yes, I did. Absolutely extraordinary, really important movie.
Yes, so 1952, they featured the incidents from 1952, the radar chases of the planes, and People were saying in that movie that the Ariel school incident was one of the maybe the best part of the whole movie. Those kids and that picture of that being standing on the ship. I mean, it was absolutely haunting. I was really moved by it.
And not only was it really amazing, but it's also one of the answers to an upcoming question.
Go
So
ahead.
you guys just got a little hint, a tip for one of the upcoming questions. Yeah, the Ariel school case is extraordinary. And in fact, there have been several school cases. And a lot of people don't know that there have been multiple schoolyard cases where UFOs have been seen very close to playgrounds and very big school incidents. And I'll get to them in just a minute in the quiz. But I think that's a fascinating aspect of ufology. We have repeat UFOs at nuclear sites, and we have repeat UFOs at schools. Very fascinating, I think. Another piece of the puzzle,
Definitely.
if you will.
So, what's question number 2?
Is there a little lag with my audio?
I think so.
Nope. Okay, great. So, in fact, speaking of, I did this. Question number 2 is the term. Oh, good. Term flying saucers came from what famous case?
So the term flying saucers, what famous case, right?
Came from what? Yes. Very famous case. I'll give you a hint. The person involved was a. This is over the northwestern United States. Bing, 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 bidding, bidding, bidding. Okay, time's up. Doc, you remember who that was, don't you?
Yep, we do. We do. Yes, I think Jay has got it. Jay
It is.
got it. Go ahead.
Kenneth Arnold. Kenneth Arnold was the case that it all came from. The term flying saucers comes from that case. Kenneth Arnold. He was flying over, remember Mount Rainier, I believe, that area there, and he saw that incredible formation, and they were shaped. He described them as skipping like flying saucers. It wasn't about their shape. It was about them skipping like that. So that was a very interesting case. And now, quickly to jump to the next one, you guys have got a couple answers already. I saw one of the answers written on the screen previously. Name a UFO school case. So I think since we already named it, we know Ariel as one of them. Someone else want to name a school case? And the Ariel school is from Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. Doc, do you remember any of the other case names?
Yeah, someone already mentioned it in the chat. They mentioned Westall.
Yes, the Westfall, Australia case. And for those of you who don't know, this is a much lesser known case, but it was right around my birthday, right near where I lived. It's the Crestview, Florida case. It happened from 1967 to 1969, right down there in South Florida, right literally a few miles away from where I lived and grew up, was a series of UFO sightings, and the very famous case at Crestview. And it was May 4th, I believe, 1967, that case was.
Wow, another school.
So, yeah, that's another one. That had a bunch of kids see it. The teachers saw the craft. And not only that, it came back the next day, and the teachers and the students saw it again. It came, and this is another one of those that go back to the fractal story. There was one main craft, and then two miniature crafts that looked just like the main craft, but they were just miniatures. And then the second day, the craft came again, and this is a close sighting. This came into their playground. And it kind of played for them. the UFO turned around and went towards a whole bunch of trees, and it looked like it like either crashed into the trees or got absorbed into the trees or disappeared into the trees, and then poof, a couple seconds later it came back out as if it was playing a trick for the kids, like disappear, here I am again, peekaboo. That is another amazing and lesser known UFO case.
No, buddy.
Here's one I think Doc's got.
Yeah,
please.
I just want to add one thing here that's very important. I think when we find out what's been going on around us, history is going to be written. Because right now we have this narrative that's still from the 1950s and the Cold War. And it's a retrospective narrative, like every narrative is, that's just focused on one way of looking at it. And we had a lot of disinformation for 70 years. And how many...
For so long.
You know, I mean, it's because I've talked to a lot of witnesses. How many other school cases are there that we haven't heard about? There's so much.
Great point.
This is why, you know, there's going to be a flood of it at some point, because so many people have had experiences and it hasn't been integrated. We haven't heard from them. And these school cases are just another example. You know, it just takes so long for the information to get out, for someone to do a documentary before just the core people know about it, the rest of society. So anyway, proceed. Go ahead, buddy, whenever you're ready.
And, you know, it also speaks to the objectives of these advanced civilizations. What do they find interesting in children? You know, they find nuclear sites of interest. And us, you know, most researchers believe it's to warn us about the dangers of nuclear. But they also visit these kids often. So what is their interest in that? Do they...
Okay, sorry about that. We had another little glitch there. The question was the Slide 9 Chris Mellon briefing document. Two vulnerabilities identified in the Slide 9 briefing document. No, none of you are jinxing it. It's just we'll make it better for the next. Yes, he's back. What are two?
Yeah, I'm back in the broadcast. I think maybe.
Vulnerabilities.
Maybe, kind of, sort of.
Two vulnerabilities from.
I'm on the air.
Slide 9 briefing document.
Yes, two of the vulnerabilities. Two of the vulnerabilities. Sweet girl. Good girl. Stay, vicious little dog. Yes. This is a very important document. Slide 9 from the Chris Mellon leak.
Have a response from Jet.
How's the audio?
Sounds good. You sound fine.
Did you getting any audio?
And Chris called Chris up or something. And
classified by ATIP, you know, obviously our vulnerabilities would be considered classified. But I think when they were speaking to Congress, doing those congressional briefings, that was not classified, and that this information was not considered classified in those briefings. But I think that's a semantical game, probably.
Yeah, we just don't know what's going on with this. I mean, obviously, somebody's getting briefed about this. It's the type of thing that broke up again. So we don't know what they had on board, those craft. I think, yes, buddy, I would say that they did. They had the equivalent of what we call cruise missiles, something like that. They were armed. They were definitely armed. Look it up on Wikipedia, Operation Chrome Dome.
You know, we know that UFOs are interested in nuclear weapons and they're interested in kids. So I think we should bait the UFOs by giving kids a bunch of nuclear weapons.
Yes, that's a great idea, buddy. Um, anyway, so to finish the story quickly, when the guy landed back in the States, there were two officers waiting on the runway. They said, "Give us the camera."
Wow, of course.
And the guy said, "Wait a minute, that's a present from my wife from last Christmas." They said, "We'll give it back." Well, he never got the camera back.
I mean, you hear that story again and again.
Yeah, again and again. I mean, this is something no one's ever heard. This pilot told it to me, and now we've heard it. It's on, but I mean, how many stories are out there? So anyway, I don't think we know half of this story. I think someone's been hiding it for decades. We know they've been hiding it. Just that one story alone shows you.
And we know why they're hiding it. They're hiding it because they want to, use national security as an excuse. But it's really about the technology, that they want to understand the technology first before any other nations to use it for purposes of war. And not only that, then there's the secondary excuse that they use to justify their actions, that society couldn't handle the information, and we know now, that Brookings Institute report study that was done 50 years ago said it would break down society if we introduced, the reality of UFOs visiting us. But then they just did one recently. That was over 50 years ago. Society is really acclimated to aliens and UFOs and all that stuff now. They did one about 10 or 15 years ago, and it came back that there'd be no major social changes. So there's no more for them not to give us though.
No.
And the town has built a bell-shaped UFO at the location of where this happened. Can anyone name this famous UFO case?
So, the famous UFO case, bell-shaped craft. People saw them take it out on a tractor trailer.
A bunch of kids saw it in the woods, crashed.
And it crashed, and I believe this is an incident that Leslie Kean investigated, right?
That who did?
Leslie Kean.
Yes, I believe she did as well, yes.
Yeah, so does anyone, let's wait. There's a delay here of about 20 seconds, so we'll have to wait for responses here. It's a good case. Stan Meyer, I believe. Was it Stan Meyer? Yeah, I think he was the one who investigated it. And let's see, do we have any responses?
It has a lot of interesting extra information. There were sonic booms heard. There were people who saw something zipping through the sky. Other people saw it crash into the woods. There's radar on this case. It's a really well-known and interesting case, but people oftentimes overlook this case.
People overlook this case. Okay, well, people are saying it's buffering really slow. So.
Oh, wah, wah, wah.
I don't know what's going on here. I'm showing 4-bar signal, but
yeah, LTE. So I mean, I've got full bars on, and I have full bars on both my devices. So I don't
well,
understand
Omar says that the cosmic rays are high today. That could be something to do with it. We've done this before, and it worked. But this is the first time we've used this system. It's your second line there. It's still buffering. But what? Do we have any responses? Anyone know? Diglaka. Someone says Diglaka.
Very close. Yes.
Close. That was apparently the bell. Yes, that was one of the bells. Jim Mars used to talk about the Diglaka.
Yeah. Yes, he did a lot. A lot of research.
Yeah. The Acorn one. Yes, you're getting closer. Yeah. Kecksburg, we got a winner. Can you see the chat there, buddy?
No, I can't see that because I'm on.
Okay, Kronos says Kecksburg.
Yes, Kronos is right.
You're the winner.
You're the winner. You know what, Doc? I think we're going to have a winner from today and maybe a winner for the next half as well, too. Kronos has been getting a lot of them, and Jay has too. So, really quickly, either Jay and Kronos, I think both are entitled to a little prize for the quiz. They can email me at alienprotocols@gmail.com, and I will do viewing or some sort of tips and training, or whatever they want. I'll do a
So
little.
Jay and Kronos are the winners today. Kecksburg, someone's saying it's Pennsylvania, and I believe what year was that? 67. And
I don't have it here. I don't have the year, unfortunately.
yeah, whatever that was that came down, people saw kind of this writing along the sides of the acorn. And there was this counter explanation that it was a Soviet satellite. But I think that explanation has been dismissed because the timing wasn't right for that particular satellite. They thought it might be to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. Very interesting. There was another case in Saratoga, Wyoming, similar to that, where something came down. It caused a fire. It hit the mountainside, and the feds came in and cut off all the phones and blocked the roads.
Wow.
And when it was seen leaving on a semi, just like Kecksburg. And they said it was so heavy that the semi was bulging in the middle.
You know, this goes to the point that Luis Elizondo brought up just from ATIP, is that they have so much data, so much evidence, so much information, so much material that it has become a security issue, just maintaining it, just protecting it. You know, they've tons and tons and tons, literally, of not just evidence from craft, but from radars and witness reports and so much stuff, studies.
So much stuff. Wow. It's true. Now, the thing about Saratoga is everyone wondered, how did anybody know something had crashed there? Because the Fed showed up really quickly. And the idea must be that there's some sort of sensor system around the planet. When there's a big thud, this sensor system picks it up, right?
Yeah.
Because they showed
radar. Yeah.
Somehow, you know, they showed up within hours. And so Kecksburg, Saratoga, these things crash. The semi trucks show up. And there must be so much stuff that must take so much. You know what someone said recently, buddy, was that special access programs, I think it was Eric Davis, said that it takes 10 times as much resources to keep it secret as it does to run it itself.
You know, I've heard that before too, and not just from our interactions. You know, imagine that being the case. Bigelow had to spend millions and millions to set up a multi-tiered, major, secure series of buildings and buildings inside of buildings to just handle the tiny nanomaterials.
Right. And it's expensive and resource intensive to keep these secrets. And, you know, as I've said in some of these recent interviews, you know, if anyone wants to go to the MUFON podcast, I did a show with Richard Beckwith recently, and we talked about this. It's very expensive to keep this secrecy going. And I have a feeling it's coming to an end one way or another, just like all secrets come to an end at some point, right? I mean, that's what I think. They just people eventually just don't want to put up with it anymore. And we have too much. Well, we've got shows like this. We've got lots of folks out there digging around, and now Congress has been briefed, as we were saying at the beginning of the show. So anyway, let's look at some of the comments before we go. And folks, again, thanks for bearing with us for these technical difficulties. I mean, Buddy and I tested this system quite thoroughly the other night, and it was flawless, right, Buddy?
It was perfect. And even the screen, your image looked great.
There was no delay. There was no lag. Of course, we didn't do it live. Going live takes a lot of resources, but anyway, listen, folks, we want to thank all of you for being here. You're all regulars on the show. We appreciate it. We do it for you, right, buddy?
We sure do.
We do it for all of you, and I promise you the next time we do this, we will get it working. I will either be in a place with better reception, or if that's what the issue is, or we will have, obviously, when I'm back in Boulder with my direct internet Ethernet cable plugged into the back of the Mac Mini with 100 megabits a second, we don't have any latency. So Sleuth has one more thing. Doesn't Colorado monitor activity in space? Yeah, that's where NORAD is. And now, Paul Dean from Australia, I just have to say, has done a great job investigating which of these organizations, there's so many of them that monitor space. There's organizations within the Air Force, within the Space Command. There's lots of organizations.
Within the Army, the National
Reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance.
Yeah, they have outward-facing satellites and all of this stuff, and they monitor it. And some of these satellites are about 20,000 miles out, if you can believe it. 20,000 miles. They see everything, but the thing is, the information's been interrupted far too long. I think we can see the consequences on our society. If you don't have enough focus and direction as a whole society, I mean, a sense of what reality is, it just starts to fracture. And we can see this right now. You know, if this issue were out there, if we were talking about it, we wouldn't worry so much if we're Democrat or Republican. And I have to think, buddy, it's the old guard holding this back because some people like that politicization of everything, right?
It has to be, because the other major nations all have this stuff. The governments have it. So it's not keeping a secret from the other governments. They have all this information. It's the people who don't have the information.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, you know, disclosure, if it comes from another superpower, it would be really sad. And not coming from the United States that could lead the topic with responsibility and lead the many questions and ethical considerations that leap at you once you accept this reality. This should be led morally and ethically by, you know, the United States. And it's sad that it has to be, your arm has to be twisted into, you know, enlightening all of us.
It's so true, buddy. It's unacceptable. You know, we have so many people interested in this subject, so many, as Stephen Bassett called them, citizen investigators.
Yeah.
And so much good research and so many conferences that I've been to. Why isn't this on the news every night? There's so many cases. We just talked about one from the Yom Kippur War, or whichever one it was, where, you know, great case where a pilot has his camera taken away, sees these little silvery objects come around the convoy. So many cases like that. Where is the reporting? There's so many people just in this country alone that could be filling the news with credible accounts of witnesses, just like the Unidentified show, right, on History Channel, which had two seasons.
This week, the UK, there was a case, and they had incredibly close-up pictures of craft. And that's what the specific case was, like the hallmark of it was these incredible pictures. And the UK sealed it for another 50 years. Sealed it under the veil of secrecy for another 50 years.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Okay, buddy, thanks again. And thanks, everyone, for bearing with us. We will continue to iron out the kinks in the system. I think it's partly my remoteness here a little bit. Maybe that might be probably the issue. We need to have a little closer antenna connection to get that bandwidth speed. I think that's what it is. But anyway, we'll figure it out. Buddy, thanks for joining us. I'm going to cut to, hold on a second. I'm going to cut to this.
Well, I love you, Doc. Love your audience.
Yes. Thanks a lot, guys. And we will see you next time. Let's go to our...
watch Reality's Edge with Doc and Buddy, you will learn there are other dimensions. You will learn how to connect to beyond.
Consciousness rebels, we need you. Turn on Reality's Edge with Doc and Buddy.